Recording in progress.
Extra points for the
Share screen. This one. Share. Perfect.
Time starts now.
Sweet. All right. Well, my name's Lexton. For these three teaching lessons, I'm going to be teaching on live stream audio for churches. And the first part is, this is my audience. It's Monica and Weston, as you know. So we're going to be setting up a live stream for church from the bare basics. We're going to do this in Logic. I found that Logic is the easiest way to live stream, especially with Dante. We're just running in an Ethernet from the Dante plugin on the board. Use a Behringer Wing. It's a digital console that's absolutely amazing. So yeah, let's go through this. When I go to inputs, I'm not going to do inputs because that's going to be different for every church setting. But when I labeled the tracks, you kind of have an idea on how it runs into Logic and runs out through the master of Logic. So yeah, let's go. So the first thing that we got to talk about, let's just create one of these tracks just to have it up, is we are going to go to Logic Pro right here in the top left, and then go to preferences, and then go to audio. You need to make sure that your core audio is enabled, which is basically just all of Logic's audio. Our main output, we're actually using an aggregate. It's a multi-output device. Basically, in this setting, I have two studio monitors beside me, and then I also am running the master out through the Ethernet of Dante back into the board. So then it can be ran through our video editor, which is basically just an ATEM. And then going into YouTube. So that is our output device. Our input device is, of course, the Dante virtual sound card. It goes from analog snakes into an AES-50, which is a digital snake, and then is ran to the board. The board then sends out through Dante all of the inputs, and then I receive them, and then I can put them in a matrix, or I assign them through the matrix, and then the matrix goes into here, I process it, and then it sends it back through the Ethernet of Dante. For IO buffer size, if you already recorded and are doing a non-live recording or non-live mixing and mastering, you want your buffer size to be around 128 to 256, just because there is no input output of it. It's already masked into the programs. But for live streaming, you want it to be about 1024 because there's going to be latency between the input, my system processing, which I do on Logic, and then the output device. So the IO buffer size just gives the computer an extra boost to latency negation. So this is really important. You can see the resulting latency. It's 62.7 milliseconds from round trip. So basically, from the input with no system processing, from the input to the output, it's 62.7 milliseconds, sorry. For recording delay, you want 0 samples. We aren't recording how do I say this? We aren't recording the actual, we're not multi-tracking. So we're not recording the actual inputs into Logic. We're just getting the inputs, doing system processing, and then putting them back out. Processing threads, automatic, process buffer size range, large, multi-threading, playback, and live track. Summing is standard precision, which is 32-bit. And then for CPU, we're actually running out of a 2015 MacBook Air that still has the old charger. So we have to, the CPU isn't that good. So I put it back into playback mode, which is less CPU load. So that's kind of what you want for audio. Getting set up, we are going to go to, the first thing we want to do is tracks, which is basically, we get it from multi-tracks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so multi-tracks, we get it from multi-tracks. Of course, we want to send that through to YouTube.
Right.
So that means we have to run it through Logic. So the best way to do this is we go edit and then track, sorry. We go track, new tracks. They're going to be audio tracks. And we are going to create 9 of them because we have 10 tracks and audio 1 is still there. So we're going to go create. It's going to make all of these. Next thing you want to do is press shift and click. That's going to highlight all of them. Then right click. You're going to do create track stack. And then you're going to do summing stack. Let's do folding stack. And create. That's going to be your sub 1. We are going to rename this tracks. And then we are going to color it pink, because that's the best way to start out. Is pink. It's a man's color. So we're going to do that. And then when we open it, it shows all of our audio on here. So we're going to highlight it, go here, assign track color, pink. So that way we know. And then for our tracks, we do drums, loops, bass, piano, keys, electric guitar, that's how I name it, is EG. AG is acoustic guitar, Vox channel, perks, which is basically just your Foley, and then a pad, which is very important in worship music. So once we get all these set up, this is good. I'm going to open my mixer, which is right here. So all we have right now is tracks and a master. Now, if you click this button right here, it's going to open all the tracks. Close it, it's going to minimize it all. This right here is called a VCA. You can't do any mixing on it. It's just kind of the levels of the whole thing. So this is basically your bus without any system processing that you can do. Now with tracks, or actually, let me take you through a channel strip. So right here, you have audio device. This is going to be where it's coming in at. Your setting is going to be, basically, you can say presets to your channel strips. As you can see, I've created a lot of presets that I have that I can just, if the input or if we have another input or channel that we need, I can just slap on a preset and it'll load everything up. So that's the setting. Gain reduction, that's if you have a compressor on and every time it goes above the threshold of the compressor or the limiter, you can see it reduce the gain. EQ, this is Logic's built-in parametric EQ. It's, I think, 7 band. You can pull that up. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's actually 8 bands. We'll get more into that later. This is your input. So this is what input you're sending into Dante. So think of this as your first starting point into a track. Then you have audio effects. This is your system processing. Right now we have channel EQ because I just put it on there, but I'm actually going to get rid of it. Your sends, this is your buses. So right now I'm going to make a bus that is going to be my, instead of just having a VCA, we're going to make an actual an actual bus for the tracks. So to set the level, you want all these to be 0. You want all of this to be bus 1. This is your aux1. I'm going to name it track bus with 2 S's because that is my staple. And then basically this is not included in the VCA. So you will have this absolutely wherever you go within the tracks, as long as it's going to be next to the master. So we got that all set up, so we can minimize this. Then you have track bus. What makes it easy is you can go back into the main window. And then, back into the mixer. For this to show up, this bus to show up on your arrangement window, you want to say create track. What this does is it puts it into here. We can actually, so this is one of the problems of Logic. It's really easy to fix. If you can see, our bus is actually inside the track VCA. The best way to fix that is to open this, go back to the arrangement or main window, and literally just drag it outside of the group and put it right here. We're going to assign track color, make it a brighter shade of pink. Actually, I'm going to make it a darker shade of pink. So that way we know that that is the track bus and is not included in the track VCA. Awesome. So after that, we're going to go here, go back to go back to, oh no, no, go back to main window. After this, we're going to go to track. The next thing I have are passer mics. This can include crowd mics, your announcement mic, your guest microphone, and your passer microphone. As you can see, all of these are already there. So what we're going to do is we're going to rename all of this. So this is going to be crowd. Oh, if I can spell right, crowd mics. This is going to be announcements. This is going to be guest speaker. This is going to be your pastor mic. Sweet. All right. So once you get that done, it's kind of the same thing. As you highlight, right click, go to create track stack, go to folder stack, create. That creates sub 2, which is your, I call all of these pastor mics because it lets me know that these are the microphones that are on stage and will be used. Then we can highlight it, do all of assign track color, do all of this like a light, let's do it like a very luminescent blue. Create, perfect. Window, back to mixer. We're going to assign all of these to channel, to ascend. Nope, there it is, which is a bus 2. And then we type in this, it's going to be 0. And then make this pastor bus. Right click, create track. Then we have to go to window, main window, drag it over right here. So then when you do this, it already goes. So now we just have to assign track color, darker blue, and done. Sweet. Now, delete that, go to track, new tracks. We have 4 instruments. We have keys, bass, and amp on my hand, electric guitar, and acoustic guitar. Highlight, go to create track stack, folder, call this Instruments. Color this green. Like a very annoying green, so we know that it's instruments. Because out of everything that you're going to mix and master, the instruments give you the most pain, just because of how many frequencies are in each instrument. So you definitely have to make sure that you know where the instruments are. So here, sweet. Take this back, drag these up. Window, open mixer. Put all this. Highlight instruments. Make sure it's going to a bus 3, which is going to be your instrument bus, which we can name, I say ins bus to make it easier. Then create a track. But then we're also, what we're going to do, let's fix this. Nope, wrong. We wanted a darker green, so you know. Then what we're also going to do is we're going to go back to mixer, and I want a send for the instruments for reverb. So what we're going to do, actually, I just want it on the electric guitar and the acoustic guitar. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight both of these, put a bus 4, and then set these to 0. And then bus 4 is going to be our ins reverb. And then if we go back to, we got to create the track. Oops, not a VCA. Create track. Go back to window. Do it again. And then we can see, so ins reverb, you want it down here, one here. Sweet. So what I do is I try to get all of the buses next to each other, and then once they're next to each other, I kind of break it down into chapters of what I want pushed into the bus. So basically, once that's all done, I'm going to recolor this. That nasty green. I don't know why that's recording. And then we go into window, or you can press Command 2 to switch it. So as you can see, like this is kind of shaping up to be very, very organized and collapsible, which is something I really, really like. So for bus 4, right? This is coming down. These are going into bus 4, and then this is going straight out because this is the output, right? So to make it easier on yourself, you go output, and you want this output to be the bus. So you go into buses and you go into instrument bus. So basically what this is doing is it's sending all of these instruments to bus 4, or no, sorry, electric guitar and acoustic guitar to bus 4. Then once it's mixed and lowered, I can send it to bus 3, which is right here. Then it'll go down this, and then it'll go straight out into the master. And I cannot delete that VCA. So we're going to do no bueno. Okay, so after that, I'll go back into the main window. And then from here, I will just go very fast into creating the audio or the vocals and the drums, because it is the same type of setup. So new tracks, or you have main, Vox, harmony. You have Vox and Vox. And track color is going to be red. Great. Track stack, quarter stack. Oh, went into this. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we are using that VCA. So this is going to be vocals. And track color, red.
Is this the sign itself? Is there
Yeah, yeah. It's very interesting.
another one about it?
And then after that, we're going to create actually 3. Where is it? There it is. From these, we're going to create 3 buses. So we highlight all of it. The first bus is your main vocal send. Bus 6 is going to be your reverb for the vocals. And then bus 7 is going to be your main delay for the vocals. So as we can just name it, this is going to be vocal bus. It's going to be Vox reverb. It's going to be Vox delay. Oops, hold on. Then highlight these, go create track, go back to the window, find these, push them all the way up. Oops. There we go. And then we can drag the vocals right here. And then color this a nasty red. Where is it? Oh, there it is. It's darker. Perfect. So how you set this up is the same way you set up the instruments. So when you look at it, you have bus 5, 6, and 7 going. So bus 5, remember, is your vocal bus, which is this one. And then you want bus 6, since it's already going out bus 6, you want this to go into bus 5 also. And you want your delay to go into bus 5. So now this is not only getting the dry signals, but the wet signals. Then after that, again, the last thing to set up is the drums. And the drums are very easy. It's the same thing we've been doing. We use at Jesus Church. If I can delete this. At Jesus Church, we use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 channels for the drums. We're going to go to tracks, new tracks. And then we're going to rename it. So first one is kick in, then kick out, which is 2 different microphones. You got snare top, snare bottom. Then you have high tom, low tom, overhead left, and overhead right. Stop that, go to window, mixer, highlight all these, go into the first end, which is going to be your main bus for drums. And then set all these to 0. And then I only want reverb for the high tom, low tom, and overheads. Or psych. I actually want. No, we're gonna do 3 buses. So I want snare bottom, snare top, and the toms to have reverb. So that's going to be bus 9. And then I want a very, very hard compressor on the overheads to almost make it like a pad, but not too much. So we're going to go here, here, put these to 0, here, here, put these to 0, go into your sends, highlight all of them, create track, go back to this screen, create track stack. This is going to be my drums. This is going to, I'm going to open it and recolor everything. And this is going to be a yellow. Minimize it, slide it up into here. So that way it's all very, very organized. You can open up any one of these VCAs and you can get the individual tracks, which is very nice. So aux 8 is going to be your drum bus. Aux 9 is going to be my drum reverb. And then aux 10 is going to be my overhead comp. Sweet. And then kind of just make sure that all of this is how you want it. I'm going to make these a very nasty yellow color. Actually, it's already a very nasty yellow color. So let's stick with that. Go back into this. Open up your drums. So like I said before in the vocals, you have all 8 of these channels going into bus 8, which is your drum bus, which is right here. Bus 9 and bus 10 should be going into bus 8 to get the best sound. And there you go. That is how you set up a live streaming template. I will show you for, that's mixer. I will show you for organization purposes. What I do is I take all the buses and I put it on the bottom. So track, bus, pass in order. And then I do inst bus. Where's my vocal bus? And then my drum bus. So that way, when you go back into the mixer, from here to here, that is all your buses for every single channel. So you can do main mixing here, system processing here, but I will show you that in another video. Sweet.